Hi, welcome back. I am excited to be with you this week. We are not going to bake. It is going to be a shorter video, however, I think an important one. We came across fire cider last year, I think, and decided to go ahead and try and make a batch ourselves and see what we thought. It is potent. It does not taste amazing, but I can tell you my husband took it religiously, and when all of the whole house got sick with a bad cold, he didn't get it at all. He took a tablespoon in the morning and a tablespoon at night, and he sailed through without having problems. So now he takes a tablespoon every morning kind of preventatively, and when we explain what's in it, then you'll see the benefits maybe of just helping your gut, your immune system. It is not a pleasure for me to take. And he said there's a moment you take it and you go, oh, and there's a moment where he feels like he could take on a bear and fight something. And he said it's like Popeye, a homemade Popeye spinach. So every morning when he takes it, I say, ooh, could you get in a fight? But his health has generally improved. I have to find a way to make it taste a little better. But my mom and I made it together when she was here last year, and she takes it and says she feels a lot better and has a better gut microbiome, and she can tell a big relief. So I did a lot of research when we decided to try making home remedies. We want to try and get back to nature and do as many things as we can for our health and get back to, I don't think it's ever very healthy to take Dayquil or NyQuil or aspirin, ibuprofen. It helps you, and I think when you're in pain you need it, and you should take what you need, and it's safe. It does have an effect on your guts. It has an effect on your health in general, and even though it helps you feel better, it's not always great for your body afterwards. So I can't even take ibuprofen anymore. I had a dental problem and took it so much I got gastritis that it just burned through the lining of my stomach. And so I'm leaning towards as many home remedies as we can find. So then I came upon fire cider for natural immunity and natural gut microbiome health. And so every single video I watched, and there are so many. The recipe is different. I've looked in old herbal remedy books. I have a few of them that I really love, and they all have fire cider recipes. So this has been around for quite some time, and everyone is different. The main thing is to have all of the things in it that are going to be immune boosting, antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, things that are going to boost your gut microbiome health, because your whole body health starts in your gut, right? So if your guts are good, you have a great chance of fighting off a virus, an infection before it sets in, or if it sets in, to lessen the amount of time that it takes a toll on your body and you get over it much quicker. There are so many reasons to up your gut microbiome. This to me makes sense. So I like to do things that make sense. So our recipe is going to be the main ingredients that I found in most of the recipes. Some go a little crazy, some are more sugary. We're just sticking to natural. So if this is not something you want to do and you're looking for a baking video, I will have a baking video. I just wanted to share some things that have really helped. I think that this would be something good for you to try. It's all natural, so you're not going to overdose on anything. You're not going to harm your body unless there's an allergy, which in that case, leave that ingredient out. There's just nothing but goodness in here. So join me today as we make some fire cider, which my husband said of all of the names of food there are, that this is most aptly called fire cider because it burns on the way down, which I agree with, because when I tried it, okay, that's fine. So I hear you. I can get some down, but it's not the best. So watch me try and sell you on something that I have trouble getting down. But here we go. What do we need to make fire cider? I use half-gallon mason jars, and I wanted to show you can use the metal rings that are normal, but it's going to have apple cider vinegar, and you don't want the vinegar to touch the metal. It'll corrode it. So I used to keep a mason jar, a smaller one, of vinegar I would use to pour through my coffee pot to clean it out, and then I'd just save it because it's vinegar and I'd use it a few times. Well, it corroded the metal top. I thought, oh, how funny, I should have thought about that. So put a little piece of wax paper or cling film, something up there while you have the lid on. You're going to need to shake this every day for a while. You need to have something to protect the metal. And I found at Walmart these ball leak-proof plastic lids that work really great, and I've had no problems with them. So I like these, and they were very affordable. Okay, so half-gallon mason jars, lid of some kind. You're going to need a lot of apple cider vinegar because we're going to fill up the remaining space after we add stuff. I got a 3-pack at Costco. It's relatively affordable. You can get apple cider vinegar anywhere you can make apple cider vinegar. And then we're going to need an array of healthy goodies, if you will. Today we're going to have ginger and turmeric, garlic, onion, lemon, jalapeno, and rosemary for our fire cider. You can add anything. If there's some other flavor you love, there's oranges. I had some, but they just didn't look as good to me, so I'm not going to add those. Anything, or like citrus has vitamin C, that's great. Anything you can think of. Oh, sorry, and I forgot horseradish. Horseradish has an insane amount of good properties in it for anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antiviral. It's amazing. Gather what you want. If you don't want jalapenos, don't add them. Some people add a lot of cayenne pepper to it. To me, that's too much. I'm actually allergic to cayenne pepper, and it makes my throat have a problem. So I don't like anaphylactic shock, so I'm not going to add it. But anything you can think of that's really healthy and that you love, a flavor that you might like to add to this, go for it. You can't go wrong with natural things, which is what I really love. You're not going to add too much or too little. This is going to be perfect, and you can make it to taste for you. And one of the very fun things is we do not have to peel anything. There is so many good nutrients and antioxidants in even the skin of ginger and onions, and we're going to drain this out after 6 weeks, so you're not going to be munching on the flaky skin of the onion or anything. So whatever we put in here, all of the solid will be drained out with a cheesecloth or a tea towel or whatever you have to use. So don't worry about using the skins, just go ahead and chuck them in. I do have one thing, after making this a few times, turmeric really dyes whatever it touches orange. And that's not a problem. I use a cutting board. Cutting boards look old. What I did have a problem with is that my nails were orange for a good 2 weeks. So I have just decided to cut turmeric and jalapenos last, and I'll just use my my gloves for that, and it saves my nails. Not that I care too much about what they look like, but when they're yellow, you don't necessarily look super healthy or feel great about it. So I would suggest even, dishwashing gloves, something like that, something to guard your hands, or don't worry about it at all. So we are just going to start with ginger, which I have ginger tea almost every night. I really just chop this up and put it in a cup and boil a kettle of water and pour it over. Oh, it's so good to me. It's spicy. It gets me ready for bed. I have allergies pretty bad, so it's very anti-inflammatory. I think I sleep better the nights that I have it. So, okay, I'm doing 2 jars, so I'm trying to kind of get the right amount. Equal-esque, it does not matter. So we will just go ahead. We are just going to rough chop, finely chop, whatever works for you. So we're going to keep everything we do in here and shake it just up and down a couple times every day for 6 weeks. And then we strain out all the solids and add some honey to taste. even though I think no matter how much honey you add, it's not really going to taste amazing. It's just very robust with flavor. But I don't think Dayquil tastes good either, so if we're going to take something for health, I'd rather have the healthy version, right? The finer you chop it, the more surface area touches, so I tend to go a little bit smaller. Ooh. All right. Jar number 1. It doesn't matter what order you put it in, we're just shaking it every day. I'm going to go ahead and do some horseradish next. Strong smell. Alright, we'll do some onions next. Whew. Garlic. Rosemary. Yep. Alright, so give your apple cider a good shake. Get all the mother off the bottom. So we don't want to fill these all the way full because you want a lot of apple cider vinegar in there because we know how good this is for our guts and for immunity. So I think I'm actually going to add one more onion to each because we have the room. So we'll just kind of cover it. You want to leave enough room that you can really shake it up every day for 6 weeks and that everything moves around. So if it's all the way full, it might be a little hard to get the momentum going in there. Trust me, no mold is going to grow on this. So with the plastic lid, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten it up. And with my metal lid, I'm just going to use some parchment paper. So what is right now kind of pretty, actually, there's lots of little pops of color in there, is going to turn to look like this. But every day, just turn it over. Leave it, if you have the space on your kitchen counter, leave it on your kitchen counter so you don't forget. And just give it a good shake, mix everything up for 6 weeks. So I have to write it on my calendar so I remember. We do so much in our busy lives, so sometimes it's hard to remember that far out what you have to do. So set a reminder on your phone or calendar. And then we're in 6 weeks. All you have to do is use a cheesecloth, a tea towel, a really fine sieve, whatever you have, to strain out all of the solids that are in here. And you don't have to just throw them away. We feed ours to our chickens, and chickens don't have taste buds, so they eat it, and quickly they eat it. You can put it in your garden, your compost bin. It's very acidic because of the apple cider vinegar, so whatever you want to do with it. And then when you have your actual fire cider and you've strained this out, add honey to taste. I just stood over it and kind of honey in there, and you don't really taste it that much. So I know some of the videos recommended getting a tablespoon of this and putting it in a hot tea with cinnamon and other things, lemon, to kind of cover the flavor, you can absolutely do that. People say they put a tablespoon of this in a big cup of water and just sip on that throughout the morning. So any way that you can make it palatable, it really, really helps just your gut microbiome, which helps your overall health, helps you fight off colds, flus, viruses. But anytime you go to drink it, make sure your lid's on tight and everything settles at the bottom, kind of like the mother in the apple cider vinegar. So you want to give it a good shake, and then it just looks like liquidy gravy. And you get used to it. It's very good. And you go ahead and take a tablespoon in the morning, tablespoon at night. You'll hear all different measurements from people. Watch enough videos and you will absolutely, if you watch 100 videos, you're going to get 100 recipes and different instructions. So with natural things, you can't go wrong. So I hope that I've inspired you to make this. It's pretty inexpensive, easy to do. I just think anything we can do for ourselves naturally to help our health is remarkable. So if you're brave enough to try this, let me know how it goes. I look forward to hearing your comments. I have one more home remedy. As it is spring and there is beautiful flowers around and sunny, happy days, cool weather, there are also mosquitoes and bees and all kinds of stingy things. And even here in Texas, we have scorpions. Ugh. So when we get stings and bites and stuff, there's lots of remedies. I've heard the baking soda, putting toothpaste on stuff to help mosquito bites not itch. We've tried a lot and nothing's been great. We've even tried a little sucky device to suck out mosquito bite stuff. It works half the time and the other half it doesn't. But one thing that really, really does work, and it's all natural, I found from a lady named Barbara O'Neill, who's really into teaching natural remedies, natural ways to heal the body, lots of home remedies for things. And there's one that's amazing. And all you need is a little jar of some kind. It doesn't matter what you have. I prefer glass, and you keep it in the fridge. What do we know about charcoal? Charcoal leaches things out, right? If somebody swallowed a chemical that they shouldn't, or somebody took drugs and they need to get the drugs out or bind the drugs, right? We use charcoal because charcoal is a natural absorber of poisons, absorber of things, and it binds to it and kind of chemically changes it so it neutralizes the drug. I'm not speaking chemistry in the high sense that I should, but that's the basic function, right? So we know that charcoal draws out and it binds and it keeps that poison or sting or whatever from bothering, hurting you. What we do is use 4 teaspoons of charcoal powder, and we're going to mix it in water. But if you've ever worked with charcoal powder, you know if you try and stir in charcoal powder and water, it just doesn't like to mix. So we're going to add in something called psyllium husk. And I got this off Azure Standard. I got both of these. I ordered from Azure Standard. I think Natural Grocer has them. I'm not sure about Sprout. Charcoal, I think they sell on Amazon. The psyllium husk is going to thicken and kind of make stuff into gel. And you can use it in a lot of different things. But what we're going to do is do 2 teaspoons of psyllium powder, psyllium husk powder, 4 teaspoons of charcoal, and 3/4 a cup of water. And you just stir, 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 and it'll turn into a jelly, and then keep it in the fridge. That's it. Just that, right? The psyllium doesn't do anything for bites or stings. The charcoal does all the work, but this makes it in a form that will stick to you a little bit better, because the charcoal and water would just run right off. So this is a gel, and we'll do a close-up of it so you can see. Be careful when you're working with this and cloth, because charcoal is going to stain cloth. And when you mix it in with water, charcoal floofs very much. So you could mix it together in a Ziploc bag. I just mixed it together in this very, very slowly. But if somebody has a bite, a sting, anything like that, you just come and take a little bit. Can you see it's a jelly kind of texture? And say I have a sting here. You can put just the amount you need and then cover it with saran wrap or press and seal. You immediately get comfort because it's cold. And if you just leave the cling film on top, you can tape it. However, you don't want to use a Band-Aid because this will absorb into the Band-Aid. You want to keep it jelly form. This will draw out naturally the charcoal, any of the problems that are causing the itching or swelling or stinging. So this is just such an amazing remedy, and you just keep it right in the fridge and it keeps forever. If you notice, you know, maybe your consistency, maybe it dries out a little bit, you can add more water and stir it around. And it's just nice to have this home natural remedy on hand, because with children in spring and summer, you know, mosquito bites and bee stings happen. Thank you so much for joining me for a little bit of a different thing. Mostly this channel is going to be baking with our wonderful, wonderful ingredients and our fresh wheat berries, freshly milled flour. But I'd like to add in occasionally when I come across something that works, and I'll always test it out first or let you know if I haven't tested it, but it's something I'm doing. I just think as much as we can get back to nature, get back to basics, you know, and not use as many chemicals, then it's better. So I'm excited to share these things with y'all, and the fire cider that is very potent, but it is very effective. Probably some of y'all have had this forever and grown up taking it. I've met more people than I realized that say, oh yeah, I've had fire cider for years, and I just am blown away. I hadn't heard about it. So I will share what I know with you, and we'll try some things out together, and I'll tell you things that we've been doing. I will keep you updated and informed on new things that I learned. I hope you've had a good time today, and I can't wait to hear if you've tried it and people's first impressions of the flavor of that. I will see you next week. I want to let you know I am praying for you, and I'm thankful for you, and I enjoy reading your comments and knowing that we get to spend a little bit of time each week. So I will see you next week. Have a wonderful week.